Hello, my Panther friends. I just tried to do a short reading, and I couldn't get everything into that reading, so I ended up deleting it because I felt like I should be doing this longer reading right now and not a short one where I couldn't get all the information out. In that reading was the tower, the tarot tower, the one where everything is falling apart. I'm bringing that up because in this deck, in this reading, we have the Panther, which has a very similar meaning to the tower in tarot. We also have the tower here in the tea leaves. In this system, it talks about a solid foundation and success with effort. The tower in tarot refers to the lack of a solid foundation, of a rickety building that you thought was solid, but now you can see that it was not. And the thing that makes this tower solid or not is your beliefs, is your faith in things that may have deserved it or may have not deserved it. Perhaps it's in things that developed in unexpected ways. Whatever the case, Panther person, let's do the reading. Annihilation of the unnecessary, purging. The Panther won't stand to see our growth or energy stagnate. Instead, it pounces into our lives and causes all kinds of havoc, with the ultimate intention of bringing us toward more fulfilling lives. It's unexpected, uncomfortable, and sometimes feels devastating. But after all the dust clears, it's easy to see the Panther's wisdom at work. We've all been through these experiences, and they've made us better people. Trust that the Panther's journey always leads to a brighter place. So, it seems the tarot tower is very much at work in your life. When in balance, brave and productive. When out of balance, self-destructive. To bring into balance, get rid of the unnecessary. You also have a message here. Time to get out of a situation. Dissatisfaction with life. This one is very interesting. Deep personal strength and peace that assure success. So it seems to me that you have been experiencing a lot of change, but it has largely been inner change. And that's fine up to a point. And then you start to feel dissatisfied, and you understand that it is time to move on, time for something different. The first two cards are about good fortune and taking a vacation, physically or mentally. It looks like a period of rest, very much like the Four of Swords, a time of integration. But the integration is done now. You have had great good fortune to have had that time, and also to have the tower now happening in your life. It may feel very destructive at times, but you've been through a lot, and you have, it seems, developed great personal strength and peace. And as long as you continue to follow that path, the path of personal strength and peace, you will experience a much better quality of life. Some would say success, but it will not necessarily be the kind of success that society recognizes. So if you have that expectation, you should let it go. It might happen. I'm not saying it can't. I don't know. It's more likely that your life is just going to be different, so different from anything you've ever imagined for yourself. And I do think ultimately you will feel that this has been good fortune, not bad fortune. But it might take a while to get to that point. So this is, of course, where you are now. Things to help you determine whether or not this is your reading. So perhaps you have gone through this experience, this tower experience. Perhaps you are going through it right now. It's even possible you have just started. In any case, that's what's happening now. But why are you here watching this reading? Why are you here? There seems to be a bit of a conflict going on. On the one hand, we have the status quo traditions, and on the other hand, we have challenging the status quo. The desire to communicate, but then we have this gossip. The gossiping backstabber. Manipulative, untrustworthy. Someone who will stab you in the back. There is the desire for a vibrant, abundant life. Of course, we all have that. The recognition of a problem, a challenge. Perhaps a fear that someone no longer wishes to hear from you, that they've gone cold. It seems like you've put your whole life under a magnifying glass. You've put the status quo, the way you thought life should be, taken a whole different perspective on everything. Yep. Now we have innovation, ideas in action. So my cards are being sneaky. Detour, course disruption. Hostile environment. Perhaps you're finding that you have to go the long way around. There are no shortcuts. Detours, but no shortcuts. If you want to get around this obstacle, it seems you have to take a different route for a while. The direct approach is not going to work. definitely have the desire to break free of things as they are. So I guess my question would be, why do you want to break free? Why do you want to get out of things as they are? So, I'm not sure if you're feeling fragile or you're feeling that your connection with someone is very fragile. You feel the need to apologize. And you definitely want a very romantic connection with someone. The Phoenix card has come out. That's a challenging card. So it's interesting to see how these two decks interact with each other, because the Phoenix card in this one, the Kim Kranz's Wild Unknown Animal Oracle deck, Animal Spirit Oracle. May not be getting the name exactly right. Anyway, the Phoenix in that one is about working through karma bit by bit. You have to go through it over and over and over again, burning it all off, learning your lessons. And it takes as long as it takes. But there is the opportunity to burn off a lot of karma, to learn a lot of lessons, to make big improvement. And the deck is closed. So no more messages from this one. I think this is the key to what you want. It's reminding me very much of the grind phase. That's what I call the Eight of Pentacles. When you are going through something, learning something, you're achieving mastery. But mastery doesn't come quickly or easily. It comes bit by bit, and it's a very small bit by bit. I think of it as grinding a gemstone. So it'll come covered in stone, worthless stone. I think they call it dross. And all that dross has to be ground away carefully. You can't just do it willy-nilly, because you destroy the gem inside. And you have to very carefully grind it all away. And as you do the grinding, you create many facets that will catch the light. And I think human beings have many facets to our personalities, many aspects to who we are. It does look like you are headed for a complete renewal, total transformation. But it is not going to be fast or easy to get there. You're going to have to just keep going and going and going. The grindings will just take as long as they take. You may feel that you are in a soul connection of some sort. I'm not clear on that. And honestly, it doesn't matter. The being in a soul connection can be the catalyst for all this change that you are going through. But the connection itself is not the goal. It is the catalyst. All right. I just want to pull maybe a couple, we'll see how many comes out. Archetype cards. What would be helpful to you right now? You are on a threshold. The red thread. Destiny, fate, perhaps. You don't have to believe in it. People have different ideas about destiny or fate, how much free will we have. Some people say none, some people say lots. In the end, you have to decide for yourself. Oops, I've got this one upside down. And you have to be brave enough to step over that threshold. All right, let's see what the message is. Starting with the top one, this is 76. That's interesting. I think there's only 78 cards in this deck. So you're very close to the end with that one. Kairos. Yeah, there's only two more after it. Okay. Kairos. Mythic time. Synchronicity. We have all had the experience of timelessness, of life beyond the ticking of the clock. It may be felt as time standing still, slow motion, or losing track of time on a walk or in a lovely conversation. This is known as mythic time, and it is the territory of Kairos. This card suggests there is a secondary time continuum that goes beyond any earthly clocks and schedules. Within this non-linear realm, we access divine timing. A single moment ripens with auspiciousness, and our actions change the trajectory of our whole life. Time becomes a living thing that washes over us and tells us precisely when to speak or act. When this card appears, it is all about patience and precision. No clock can guide you. Wait for the rush of inner knowing, and not a moment longer. That's interesting. I hope you're good at listening to your intuition. Okay, when light, alignment, ease in decisions and action. When dark, fighting against time. So perhaps you feel like you have some kind of time pressure here? The word evil comes from the root unripe. Consider that everything has a time to ripeness. Time of ripeness, sorry. When it becomes a nourishing fruit, sweet to the lips. Compare the Greek words chronos and kairos. This will guide you to an understanding of logos and mythos. Interesting. Those are different words. Okay. Next we have 45, the threshold. This is another Kim Kranz deck, which They're wonderful, they're beautiful, they're very thoughtful and well written. They are not easy to navigate. Let's see, 45. The threshold, the door, the gate, the initiation. We cross thresholds continually, consciously and unconsciously. Doorways, gates, and entryways grace our path on a daily basis. When this card arises, it signifies that the precipice you stand upon is not your typical one. You have arrived at a threshold of initiation, here to usher you into a new reality. It requires you to leave behind the you that you thought was so well formed. A new frontier calls. This is not easy work. Threshold initiation means a part of you will be lost in order to make space for what is next. A metaphorical death must occur. Some may not recognize you. You may struggle to recognize yourself. The ground seems to crumble as you free fall into your new reality. This is the liminal realm. The step, dear friend. One step, dear friend. Just take that one necessary step toward the future that calls you. That sounds very tower-like to me. Okay. When light, youth, I can't see that. The print is unbelievably small. Revolution, ease in the liminal. When dark, resisting, refusal to grow, barriers, boundaries, not healthy boundaries. Okay. In Hindu mythology, Ganesh is the ultimate gatekeeper. Look to the great elephant god, Look to the great elephant god for support. Hecate, Janus, and Mention? I don't know that one. Are also watching over you. And finally, crossing a threshold may not always be voluntary. Sometimes we are thrown across the boundary through circumstances far beyond our control. Either way, we cannot go back. And finally, we have 70, the thread. All your cards are pretty far along in this deck. Okay. The thread, the path, the vein, the circuit. Life is a tangle. So much happens simultaneously and circuitously, leaving us grappling for meaning and direction in a network of distractions. When we connect to the energy of the thread, however, we strike the deepest vein in the body. Our whole being responds to its tug. Meaning is pumped through our bloodstream. Our mind and spirits are lifted. We remember who we are and what we came into this world to do. Though this happens on the most profound level, it could be the simplest incident that activates the thread. A song, an image, a conversation heard in passing. No matter how confusing and multi-layered our modern lives become, if we are connected to the thread, we are free. Being tethered to it is the only anchor our heart requires. When light, the circuit of meaning within chaos. When dark, binding, frustrating, taut. Recall a moment in your life when you felt fully alive. The thread is waiting for you, and the details of that memory. Amid the details of that memory, You may think you have to find the thread and pull it. Imagine, though, that it's already tied around you, waiting for you to follow it home. All right. Well, this is definitely a time of disruption for you. You've gotten so many Tower references here. All right, I am wishing you all the best. Whether you have chosen to cross this threshold or been thrown across, it seems that it is happening for you. No matter how scary it seems at times, have faith. And if you need help, get help. Whatsoever support you need to get you through this very confusing time. It does seem like you will break free of what has been holding you back. So, however difficult this may be, I think in the long run you will find it's worth it.